I'm Mr. Apples, also known as JMAP. Let me start by thanking you for clicking on the first ever video I've posted on this channel on YouTube. Welcome, and I appreciate you joining me on this maiden voyage here. Right now, this channel is going to be a place where I post custom Magic the Gathering cards that I've designed. It might turn into something later, it might evolve down the line, but right now, this is a big hobby of mine and something I want to share with the world. This video will serve as an introduction to the channel. I probably won't be showing off any specific custom cards I've made in this video, so if you just are here to skip right to the good stuff, you want to get right to the ice cream, you can click off this video and look at one of the other videos on my channel. This one is going to be more of a rant and kind of serves to give you context for the stuff I'm making, and hopefully edifies you a little bit. Okay, let's get going. First, let's get legal. Right off the bat, I have to tell you that I have no official connection to Wizards of the Coast. But if any wizards are scrying with their orbs and seeing this wonderful video here, you have a spot for another card designer, I would not mind a job. Teleport you over a resume, lickety split. But that's neither here nor there. The main focus of each of my videos will be one custom card that I've made, and it will usually be for the Commander format. Now, in addition to the one custom card that I've made, I'll usually start talking about official Wizards of the Coast cards that I think will synergize with my Commander that I've made. I will always make it clear when I'm talking about custom cards versus official cards, and also all my custom cards are labeled in the bottom left of the corner that they are a custom card, they are not meant for sale, and they'll always have an art credit with whatever artist I used. I'm doing my best to stay within the Wizards of the Coast fan content policy. One of the things that I will do is that I will, or I should say not do, is I will not do advertisements on this channel. I will also not do any promotions on this channel. But I will accept voluntary donations for Patreon. However, secondly, with those Patreon donations, I mean, also because I think it's, it's not my IP or anything like that. So, I do morally believe that this is the right thing to do. But none of my content is going to be locked behind a donation paywall, and there's not going to be any promotions associated with that Patreon donation. So that donation, I really appreciate it. It helps me purchase goods and services, but it is not needed to access the content in any way, shape, or form. Specifically not needed to get the custom Magic the Gathering content, which is all the content I'm making right now. But anyway, all right. Secondly, I should mention that I am not an artist. Any art that you see has been made by someone else. However, as I stated earlier, there will be an artist credit in the bottom left corner of the card. So if you see art you really like, I want you to go onto your computer, search those artists up, find them, and then go support them. A lot of them have their own ArtStation accounts. A lot of them also have their own Deviant arts. So please check them out. Please give them support, and some of them even have their own just straight up websites, which are pretty cool. So yeah, it's not me making the art, and support those artists. Okay, secondly, who am I? Let's move on to number 2. I am Mr. Apples. Okay, I play Magic the Gathering, and I design custom MTG cards as a hobby. I also run a Discord called MTG Custom Galleries. This is where custom MTG card designers get together, create custom cards, and then discuss their cards with one another, suggesting balance changes, making critiques, and generally just shooting the breeze. the way the Discord works is that each creator has their own text channel, if you know how Discord works. So they kind of have their own like subset channels, which act as a gallery where they can post their cards and they're stored digitally on Discord. But we use that as a way to show them off to everyone else in the Discord. And then there's a critique channel where you can post them in to get your card critiqued by the other creators on the channel. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because I run the channel, but on my own gallery portion, I have a lot of cards that I have stored there that have been looked at by other creators, but only that Discord really has seen it, maybe a couple other people. So I have a lot of custom cards that I want to share with the world, and I hope you guys really enjoy them. I'm really excited that they're gonna kind of break out of jail, and a lot of people are gonna be able to see them. I don't know, it's very exciting for me. Anywho, in addition to Magic the Gathering, I really like board games. Part of the reason why I like Magic the Gathering is because I think it's just a well-designed game. You can argue that like certain sets are better than others. You can say that lately they've been kind of power creeping, but I think us recognizing the things that are maybe going wrong is a testament to how well designed the game has been overall. We wouldn't be playing it if it wasn't a well-designed game. So kudos. But I also like a lot of other games. I mean, Catan. I actually made my own modified version of Monopoly. I play chess, though I'm not very good at it. Though I enjoy it so much. Splendor, Dixit, Uno, playing card games, Coup, High Noon, just some board games to mention that I really like. But I play a bunch of them, and I think they're a way to get people together. I've always been kind of like bad at parties just because I don't like talking. I like to be doing something. I like to keep my brain active. And I feel like I'm just sitting there eating stuff in my face. I'm like, all right, but what are we doing right now? It feels so weird. I don't know, something wrong with me. But anyway. All right, but what else about me? For work, I am a science educator. I am certified to teach science, general science, biology, and physics. But that's all I'll mention about my career. That's it. But yeah, that'll give you some context to my personal philosophy and when it comes to making these videos. I'm not going to get political on you, but everyone has a philosophy, what they believe is right and wrong, and I want to be driven by my philosophy in doing things. But I don't know, it's all stuff I think people can get on board with. I want to see people getting along. I want to see people talking, and I want to see people learning. I want to see people growing and doing it together. And I think board games are an important part of that, if not, vital. Anywho, third, what do I want from this channel, and what do I want from the videos I make? I will tell you that this is the second time I've ever used iMovie to make a video. So I am quite bad right now at this. So I mean, I have all these things that I want, that I desire. I want to make the best videos ever, but I understand that like maybe 99 videos from now, I might be 75% to where I want to be. I'm not trying to put myself down. You should never put yourself down. But I want to be honest with myself. I want to be honest with where I am, and I want to build up to something good by lots of effort and lots of videos. So let's see how it goes. All right, so what do I want from my videos? I want my videos to be the exact opposite of brain rot. I have been guilty now and again of doom scrolling, going through Facebook Reels, going through YouTube Shorts, and just watching a bunch of crud. Watching a bunch of stuff that is not going to benefit me whatsoever. I feel like after I finish like, 15 minutes of watching these videos, like, I often feel like guilty, like I did something wrong and I've wasted so much time. Like, I don't know, that's time I'll never get back. That's my most, non-renewable resource that I have. But so in general, I want my videos to be the opposite of brain rot. I want you to feel brain gain. Just workshopping the terminology there. But so I want you to get brain gain. I want you to feel that after you've left my video, that you feel that you got something out of it. You're paying for these videos. You're not paying with money, but you're paying with time. And that's time you could be used doing something else. Getting some squats in, watching C-SPAN, I don't know, biking, I don't know, whatever. So my time that I take from you, you have to feel like you got something out of it that was worth that exchange. That is what I believe. Now, what can that be? I mean, I think that what I can aim for right now as a creator is at least entertainment. I want you to feel entertained at least. Down the line, I want to educate you. I mean, I am a teacher, so I do want you to feel a little bit more educated after you encounter, something of mine. But I think that's going to be a little bit harder and more challenging to do with Magic the Gathering. I think there's lots of YouTube channels that have done that bridge the gap between entertainment and education. I think Mystic Studies is a great channel. If you haven't checked that out, please do. It is beautiful. That's all I can say about it. But yeah, I want you to be entertained, and maybe down the line, once I get better at videos, I want you to also be educated. Yeah. So, also, and I have to apologize to some of my viewers, because some of my viewers were probably looking forward to it. I'm going to try not to curse in my videos. I have nothing against cursing, but I want to make my videos as accessible as possible. I am a teacher, so I work with minors, so I want to make sure that the content I made, could be enjoyed by the people I teach. Yeah. That. Fourth, last but not least, I want to talk to you about my personal philosophy in card design. And I'm going to do this by level of priority. Not to make a magic joke there. We all know scared priorities. But we're going to talk about our first priority. The top priority of my card is I want to make sure that they have to synergize with other official MTG cards. What I want from you is when you look at one of my custom cards, I want you to say in your head, okay, I can think of 3 cards that can fit into this deck. Oh, no, this instant will go great with this. Oh, this sorcery from 1995, in I don't know, in beta or whatever, is good for this one. Oh god, this card never sees play, but it'll go great in this deck. Like, I want to get your wheels turning and start to think about cards you could be adding to it. So I'm designing to kind of get those synergies. Also, in that vein, I also like to design cards that synergize with underused mechanics or underused cards that nobody looks at. I think one of the custom cards that I'm going to be posting is Swana, the Unstoppable. I think you guys will really enjoy that because it synergizes with really underused cards. Anyway, so my second priority is that the card is legible and easy to understand. Generally, what does this mean? First off, I've heard a lot of people that bring custom cards to like their LGSs. They need like another sheet to explain what their card does. It makes tokens that aren't official, so they're like something they've made up. It uses symbols that are not official. So no one knows what the card does except if they read this document. So I want it to feel legible and easy to understand. Anything that you need to understand in the card should be explained in the card itself, unless it's something that's like really evergreen, like trample. You should try to explain it as much as possible. Sometimes, and the thing is, like, the first priority beats the second priority. So if I have a card that I really want to make that synergizes well and is interesting, but I think it's like a little bit more verbose, and I can't, like, I'll try my best to like trim it down, but if I feel like making it too simple would take away from like the interesting synergies, then I might err more on the side of complexity to save the top priority. Anyway, but in general, you want your card to be understood by your players playing, because it's not only the player that needs to understand the card, it's also the opponents, so they can understand how to counter that card or play against that card or not feed into that card's ability if they can avoid it. Because, you know, my thing is, if you fall for the trap, if you feed the, if you feed the opponent what they need, and you knew from day one like what it was like that they needed, and you gave it to them, then it's your fault, and you can, kick yourself in the butt after the game ends, and it's your mistake. But if it's not a card that is understandable and you didn't understand something about the card, then you just feel like you feel cheated at the end. Whereas if you get beat by your own, hoisted by your own petard, as they said back in the day, it can kind of be a fun experience even in itself. It gives you something to laugh about with your friends, which is kind of cool. Which is what you want to aim for. It's all fun. This is a game, so you gotta make it fun. Thirdly, I generally don't like cards. Now, okay, this one I need to explain a little bit because I know people are going to be blowing up the comments, and this one's probably going to be annoying you the most. That's why it's also third on the list. Okay, but third, I generally don't like cards with built-in protections that are permanent and that are printed on the card. So I generally will not design cards that say things like indestructible or ward or hexproof. With ward costs, I mean, you can make them low enough that they're payable, and just disincentivize people from removing it. But in general, I don't like permanent protections on the card itself. Why is this? I kind of believe in the old school, like, 1-for-1 design. That if you have a card that's like murder, right? That's 1 black, destroy target creature. It should destroy target creature. That's what I believe. And if you want to protect your commander, I believe the more interesting thing is running enough interaction in your deck to protect your commander when you need it. Now, am I against indestructible in general? Or hexproof in general? No, because we have things like temporary hexproof or temporary indestructible. I think those are fair because that requires you to spend a resource, your mana, and your card in your hand to counteract that card that your opponent's played. It's resource for resource. Again, this is what I think makes Magic most interesting. Having open mana, bluffing that you have interaction. Your opponent trying to psych you up and see if you do have interaction or not. These are the things that I think make like playing card games interesting. Poker, for example. If the card just has hexproof and indestructible and ward 17, there's no interplay. It's just like cards on the field. I can't do anything about it. Oh well. Another, I think caveat to this is if you have a card like, let's say, Darksteel Plate, or you have a card like Swiftfoot Boots, to give a more apt example, that gives protection to your commander, I think that's fine because that's a second card. You can destroy that card to remove the protection, so there's still interaction between the two. Again, you might argue, like, well, what about cards like Shane McCormack or something like that allows you to remove indestructible and hexproof? True, but then you have to run those cards specifically in your deck and kind of have like a hate there and then everyone that's in white-black has to run this one hate bear. I don't know. I generally think that is a worse pathway to go down. Everything has indestructible, but we also make indestructible hate bears. Then indestructible, I think, is more an interesting pathway to have. Few things have indestructible, and people have to use other cards to protect their cards if they need to. And then also, if you run down the pathway of everything has indestructible, that just means that people are going to play less interaction overall, which means that a 4-player multiplayer game of Commander, which is all about multiplayer and multiple people playing, just turns into solitaire. 4-player solitaire, which is, in my eyes, boring. I don't know. That's me. I kind of like that tit for tat kind of thing. Anyway, it's a lot of gas for, I don't know. Hope you like that little rant there that I went on a little design there. Anyways, all right. I wanted to thank you for listening to my rant and my introduction here. If you have the time, please check out my other videos and look at some of my custom Magic the Gathering cards. I'm still new to this, so, feel free to give critiques, but please be, a little, I'm not telling you to be nice, but I'm telling you to, cut me some slack at the beginning. All right, I gotta get a couple videos under my belt before I feel good. But I want to hear your critiques. I want to hear if you have any suggestions on how to not be bad at making videos. I would love to hear that. If you are commenting on my custom cards, I would ask that you try to be constructive with your criticisms. What does that mean? I've seen people critique my cards and other people's cards by just simply saying, this card bad. Okay, that's a fair opinion, and you're entitled to that whatsoever. You're absolutely entitled to that. I will not shame you for that. But what I would say is, I can't do anything with that information. You have told me the card is bad, but you haven't told me why the card is bad. What would you change, from the card? What is your opinion? What can you add? And some people can't get there, because they're on the line in Dunkin' Donuts, so they can't leave a huge paragraph or essay on why the card is bad and what the changes are. Sometimes it might be this card feels too powerful, but I'm not entirely sure why. That's fine. But I think the best criticisms, if I had to give you 5 stars for your criticism, I had to critique your critique with a critique, I would say, I would rather you tell me what would you change about the card. Specifically, what changes could you make to the card to make it feel balanced, but also preserve the spirit of the card. Preserve what the card is trying to do. Maybe we come up with a different stat line. Maybe we come up with a different cost or something like that, without changing what the actual text box is, or changing the text box in a way that doesn't hit the most interesting portions of the card. Anywho. Alright. Thank you for being with me on this maiden voyage. Hopefully 99 videos later, I am 75% to where I want to be. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you are. And this is Mr. Apples, signing off.